This woman is Letecia Stauch, 36 years old, a school employee, a hardworking stepmother who took care of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch and his younger sister every day. Her husband Albert was a member of the National Guard, often away from home, leaving Letecia to shoulder the family responsibilities. Sounds like a normal story, right? But wait, what if I told you that behind the smile of this devoted stepmother was a dark soul and a web of lies that shocked all of America? Would you believe it? This isn't a horror movie on Netflix. This is the real-life case of Letecia Stauch, who murdered Gannon, disposed of his body, and staged a web of deceit that had police and the FBI running in circles. And trust me, by the time you finish this story, you'll be asking yourself, what the hell was going on in her head? Let's peel back each layer of this horrifying story, with a touch of sarcasm, a bit of terror, and a whole lot of truth. Letecia Stauch wasn't the type of person you'd expect to show up in a true crime case. She worked at Widefield School District 3 and diligently cared for Gannon and his little sister. But inside, she was like a ticking time bomb. Letecia's phone revealed her true self. Searches like, "I don't like my stepson," "Find a rich husband," or "Divorce when you have stepkids." Clearly, she wasn't happy with her current life, right? But more frightening was her jealousy, insane jealousy, toward Landon Bullard, Gannon's biological mother, whom he still loved and often mentioned. Then came January 26, 2020. A small incident ignited the firestorm inside Letecia. Poor 11-year-old Gannon accidentally knocked over a candle in the basement, burning part of the carpet and suffering burns on both hands. What would a mother do? Rush him to the hospital, right? Not Letecia. She recorded a video, berated Gannon, and threatened to make him sell his toys to pay for the damage.
Gannon, I promise this is the last time I'm gonna ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose?
He did it.
Okay, we promise. We promise.
On purpose.
Pinky promise.
Pinky.
Okay, alright, so, listen, we're gonna have to sell stuff to fix it. So,
Okay.
we figure out what we gotta sell. We can sell the sofa, because we gotta get it fixed, so lady, don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay?
And the worst part? In pain, Gannon reportedly said he wanted to live with his mom. Oh boy, that was the final straw. To Letecia, that statement was a slap in the face, a declaration of war against her ego. Letecia wasn't just unhappy, she was obsessed with feelings of abandonment by Albert and felt threatened by Landon. Gannon, with his love for his biological mother, became the enemy in her eyes. She showed signs of narcissistic personality disorder, craving control and validation. When Gannon rejected her, it was a blow to her ego. Her search history, how to get blood out of sheets, arterial bleeding, revealed that she had already considered violence. Simply put, she wasn't just jealous, she was plotting something horrific. Letecia Stauch played the model stepmom like an Oscar-winning actress, working hard, taking care of Gannon in public. But behind the scenes, she secretly searched for rich husband, divorce with stepkids, even how to cover up a crime. The candle incident was the tipping point. Gannon was in pain, and instead of grabbing ointment, she recorded him and scolded him like it was some reality show. Compassion? That word wasn't in Letecia's vocabulary. Her jealousy toward Landon Bullard, Gannon's mother, burned like wildfire in her chest. Letecia craved control over the family, wanted to be the queen in Albert's eyes. But Albert was always gone, and Gannon loved his mom. To her, Gannon wasn't just a stepson, he was an obstacle in her dream of a better life. The simmering resentment turned him into the target of her twisted rage. Before becoming the victim of a case that rocked America, Gannon Stauch was an intelligent, animal-loving, and polite 11-year-old. He loved gaming, collecting toys, and had a strong bond with his biological mother, Landon. Teachers and friends described him as kind and thoughtful. His death wasn't just a loss for his family, it was heartbreak for the entire community that had cherished and protected him. On the morning of January 27th, Letecia texted to take a day off work, using the excuse that her stepfather had an accident, and later claimed that Gannon was sick. But instead of caring for her sick stepson, she took Gannon out to Petco. Yep, you heard that right, Petco. What the hell was going on? Surveillance footage showed them leaving the house at 10:16 a.m. and returning around 2 p.m. But when they came home, everything changed. Letecia parked close to the garage, something her family said she never did, and shortly after, she bought baking soda, vinegar, and trash bags. Between 2 and 5 p.m., a horrifying tragedy unfolded in that house. Letecia brutally attacked Gannon, stabbed him multiple times, shot him in the jaw, and poisoned him with hydrocodone, Albert's pain medication, which only she knew the location of. The poor boy endured his final hours in pain, something no child should ever go through. Meanwhile, Letecia cleaned the scene like a cold-blooded robot. By 5 p.m., she sent her daughter Harley to Dollar Tree to buy more cleaning supplies. She cut out the burned carpet and claimed it was from the candle accident. By 7 p.m., she called 911, pretending to panic. Gannon's missing. He went out to play and didn't come back.
My son was supposed to be home at 6 o'clock, and it's almost 7. And we went to like all his friends' house. He said he was going to be at his friend's house, and they said he wasn't there, and the other one said he never came there. So I don't know any other people to call and ask. And I talked to my husband, so I told him I had to call you guys as fast as I could because I don't know anyone else here that he could be. He's only 11.
When police arrived, she guided them through the living room and Gannon's room, firmly locking the basement door, hiding a horrifying secret. Gannon's comment about wanting to be with his mom triggered an explosion in Letecia. To a narcissist, it was an unforgivable insult. She didn't just want to kill Gannon, she wanted him to suffer, to pay. The use of hydrocodone to prolong his agony shows sadistic cruelty, aligning with antisocial personality disorder. Yet after the rage, she became eerily calm, cleaning the scene and fabricating a story like a Hollywood director. Letecia attacked Gannon with unspeakable violence, repeated stabbings, a gunshot to the jaw, and poisoning him with hydrocodone stolen from Albert's drawer. She calmly cleaned the blood, cut up the carpet, and sent Harley to buy more vinegar and baking soda. At 7 p.m., she called 911, playing the panicked stepmother role flawlessly, leading officers through the house while the basement door concealed her grim secret. Letecia didn't just want Gannon gone, she wanted to crush him to get back at Landon, Gannon's mom, who wounded her ego. Gannon's love for his mother made him a thorn in her side. The prolonged pain she inflicted with medication was her twisted way of asserting control, like a sick director in her own evil play. The next day, Letecia rented a Kia Rio and drove 955 miles in 24 hours. Pace, Florida, where she hid Gannon's body in a suitcase under the Escambia Bay Bridge, 1,300 miles from home. Who would have thought a stepmother could go that far to hide her crime, right? But that's not all. She returned, continuing to play the concerned stepmom, answering questions with a straight face. When police searched the house, Letecia tried to control the situation. She emphasized that Gannon had gone out to play and showed them around the living room, pointing out the burned carpet. But Gannon's blood was everywhere, on the walls, the carpet, and in the car. Her phone was a criminal diary, how to get blood out of bed sheets, arterial bleeding, and even Alford plea, a strategy for reducing a sentence when guilty. Oh, she really thought she was smarter than the FBI? In interviews, Letecia changed her story like outfits. First, Gannon went to play with a friend, then suddenly, an intruder attacked me and kidnapped Gannon. She described being knocked unconscious and someone demanding a suitcase, but refused medical exams when police offered. No injuries, no proof, just lies. Cornered, she panicked, blaming Albert, the neighbors, even the police for not finding Gannon. She even called Albert, begging him to stop cooperating with the police, claiming she feared he would be mad. But Albert wasn't fooled. He continued working with authorities, leaving Letecia alone in a collapsing web of lies. At first, Letecia acted like a Hollywood star, confident she could fool everyone. But as the evidence piled up, she panicked and spun ridiculous lies. Her behavior revealed extreme narcissism, believing she was smarter than anyone. When her facade crumbled, she desperately tried to manipulate Albert, but her lack of empathy showed she never truly regretted anything. She dumped the body in Florida, constantly changed her story, and tried to distract investigators. She refused medical exams and pleaded with Albert, but it was all in vain. She wanted to protect herself, preserve her perfect stepmom image, and control the narrative to avoid conviction. On March 2nd, 2020, Letecia was arrested. While being escorted, she screamed and complained that her arm hurt, that she couldn't breathe, that people were threatening her. The irony? This woman had made Gannon suffer 1,000 times worse without a shred of remorse. On March 17th, Gannon's body was found in a suitcase in Florida, confirming the horrifying crime Letecia committed. During the trial, which lasted until May 8th, 2023, the evidence was overwhelming: blood, GPS data, phone searches, and Albert's testimony. Phone calls between Letecia and Albert were released, where she begged him to stop cooperating, even suggesting that the police had somehow missed Gannon's body.
I need to know something about my son. I need to know something about Gannon. Do you know if he's safe? Do you know, is he safe? Where is he at? Do you have anything?
And if I killed Gannon, really?
What about this? I'm trying to think of any way to cue the police to offer you immunity if they can. Okay.
Because they'll try to incriminate me for this. I need immunity.
I think they give it to you because this is big that he was there and they missed it. Because then they're going to want to cover their shit for not finding him.
Letecia was sentenced to life in prison without parole, plus 156 years, a fitting end. In court, she still denied everything, blaming the police and anyone else but herself. As she was taken into custody, she kept screaming, trying to draw attention to herself like she was the victim. Letecia Stauch's story ended, but Gannon's pain and his family's grief will haunt us forever. Letecia Stauch was the embodiment of pathological narcissism, a soul incapable of remorse. Throughout the trial, she looked at the evidence, Gannon's blood, GPS records, her horrifying search history, and still denied it all, as if the truth was a game she refused to play. Gannon's pain, his slow, agonizing death, meant nothing to her. Instead, she whined about her personal discomfort, her sore arm, her breathing, or people threatening me. When escorted, she screamed like a washed-up starlet, trying to steal the spotlight even if all she got was public disgust. Her actions reflected someone with narcissistic personality disorder, unable to tolerate failure or judgment. To Letecia, her ego was the main character. Gannon was just a shadow in her twisted narrative. Letecia clung to her devoted stepmom image like a lifeline in the storm of justice. She didn't just want to avoid punishment, she wanted to rewrite the story, cast herself as the victim instead of the killer. Every denial, every scream was a desperate move to protect her fragile ego, to stop anyone from calling her a failure. She craved attention, even if it came in the form of disgust from the guards or outrage from the public. For Letecia, the spotlight, no matter how negative, was better than fading into the darkness of irrelevance. So, who is Letecia Stauch? A cold-blooded monster or a jealous wreck consumed by her own demons? Maybe she's both. Driven by seething envy of Landon, resentment toward Albert, and a twisted view of Gannon as her obstacle, she brutally murdered an innocent 11-year-old, spun a web of lies, and denied it all until justice slammed the door shut. This isn't just another true crime tale, it's a chilling wake-up call. When jealousy, narcissism, and untreated mental illness collide, even family can turn into a nightmare. Gannon's bright smile and joyful spirit were stolen, leaving a void that haunts his loved ones and shocks us all. What fuels such evil in someone like Letecia? More importantly, how do we shield kids like Gannon from monsters hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts below, because the truth is way scarier than any horror flick.